Get out of my house or I will call the police.
So, the ANRAN Solar Powered Wireless Security Camera. This is the C3 model, and I wanted to change around this video that I'm doing, which I typically do the unboxing and then the app download and then the app setup and then showing footage and everything like that, as well as setting up the camera. What I wanted to do is start off with my review of what I think and my personal opinion of the camera and my experience with the camera. Later on with more details, so all the settings and everything like that within the app, if you want to stick around and see how all of that's done. But first off, I wanted to speak about the camera itself. So I've taken it down, really easy to take down with just this little mounting bracket here that you unscrew. So the initial bracket is still up there on the wall. But the size of this camera compared to the others, I really like that because it's very small. As you can see, I've got a pen, standard pen here, and that's the height of the camera, really small. Also, it's quite thin, and then the width, as you can see. So it is really compact. It's got the solar panel built in, which, as you can see, is quite good. I've been using the camera for about 5 days now, and 3 of them it's been raining, and the percentage I saw on the app earlier was around 85%. So it is really good and efficient with regards to power, but that's also dependent on how you set up the settings, which I'll show you later on performance mode, power saving mode, and also the length of the videos that you want to record. So the more the camera gets triggered, the battery will be drained quicker. But obviously mounting it in an area where you need sunlight and that, so I've got that done. The activation and the lights and everything, these are the LEDs that come on over here. They're very bright, and it does light up the yard where I've got it set up quite nicely. It picks up the dogs walking past. As you can see now, the lights come on, so it is live now, so it is triggering because I'm moving, so that's happening now. It is quite responsive. It has the sound as well with regards to an alarm, so it does tell you to leave the property if the motion is triggered. It picks up movement from people as well, and the dogs, which you can hear barking in the back, and the camera picks them up as well, which is also in the video. The one thing I did notice with the camera, when it was raining and really windy the one evening, that was triggered and it showed the night vision, and then it switched into the color vision, which is nice because as these lights come on, it changes into color, so you get full color at night, which I like. So overall, I'm happy with the camera. I do like the operation. I do like the really easy setup. It's just 4 little holes in the wall or whatever you want to mount it on, and then you just screw this on, you move it where you want to aim it, and then it, solar panel facing up in a sunny area, and that's it. It's so easy to set up. The app is also very intuitive. There's so many settings in the app. You can also link it up to your Alexa if you've got one. That worked quite well. But overall, I like the camera. It does what it needs to do. It's not a tracking camera, so some cameras obviously have the tracking which move, so it's just a stationary point and shoot. It also has USB as well. You can charge it as well. If it does get really flat, you can charge it up, and then the USB port is in here, which is USB 6C. That's over there, and then you can also put a SD card in, so that can go up to 128 gigs. So that's also nice. So it also keeps the videos on there, and you can also get cloud storage if you want. I just want to say thanks to ANRAN for sending me this camera. It hasn't swayed my review in any way. I do like it. It is a really cool little camera. For the price it actually works quite nicely, and yeah, I do like it. And you can continue watching the video to see the full unboxing and what's included. You can see the footage as well, and also the app setup. That's my opinion of the camera and my experiences of it. So thanks for watching the review in the beginning, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Cheers. It's dripping, full of rain, and I've
Get
just
out
got,
of my house or I will call the police.
there we go, it's just got an alert. You can see the blue lights triggered. That's the alarm sound that happened. There we go, and it's finished recording now. So that's the LEDs triggering on the camera. You can see they're quite bright. If you look at the light it's producing, it just went off. But there you go, it was back on. And we'll see. So it is lighting up this whole area here, which is quite good. As you can see, it's very bright. So this is where the camera triggered with really heavy rain and wind, but it didn't occur after that. It only did it once, so maybe it was some of the settings that I needed to adjust. But I just wanted to point that out. It did trigger for that, so just make sure that when you do set it up, the settings are correct and everything in order so you don't get false alerts. I was sorting a few things out in the yard when the camera triggered when I walked past, and then I realized that I wanted to capture the LED lights. So you'll see me running back to go and get my phone. And this is the camera footage of what you saw earlier of me filming the LEDs coming on and lighting up the yard, and then they switched off and then they lit up the yard again. So this is basically the other view of what you saw earlier in the video just about 30 seconds ago. So this is what the camera picked up, and on the left there you can see the dogs, and then it switched into the dark because the motion stopped, and then the LEDs came back on, and then the lights came back on. So I just wanted to show you the camera's view of what was happening when I was filming. This is a recording of the camera just from the app as I was viewing it live. So I just wanted to show what it would look like with just night vision enabled, and that's the view that you get. Still very crystal clear. The app is very easy to install. You take the QR code which is in the manual, and that will take you to either the iOS store or the Android store. You download the app, and once the app is downloaded you open it, and then you need to register an account. Once you have registered the account with whatever login you want, you then log into the app, and then it will ask you to start setting everything up. So once I did that, you can see we went in, and then it asked to give permissions to the app. You allow that. You can either add a device or you can scan a code. So what I'm going to do is scan the code in this instance, which is underneath the camera, as you can see. So what you do is that the camera on your phone needs access from the app, so you allow it access, and then you just scan the code. And once the code is scanned, it will then pick up what camera it is and model and everything, and then it will take you through the installation process and setup. So that's what I did, and then you just need to allow a few more settings for the app to do the things it needs to do in order to set everything up. So it needs all those permissions, so location and all that kind of stuff. So you allow that to take place, and then you start entering the configuration, and it will walk you through what you need to do. So you power on the camera, then you have to hold down the reset button, and then it plays a few sounds, which means it's in setup mode. And once that starts happening, then everything will start moving through the process of actually configuring and pairing the camera with the app and setting everything up. So that's what I'm doing over here in the background, as you can see. And I'm pressing buttons, resetting things, turning up the volume to just make sure I hear all the notifications that come through. And then it will ask what network to join, and it doesn't join 5 gigahertz networks. So just remember that it's only 2.4 gigahertz. And then once you've connected to your network, it will show you an installation guide on how to set it up and pair it with your phone and make sure it's close to the router and all that kind of stuff. And then when you are done, it will show that there is a weak signal. Even though I was sitting right next to the router when setting this up, it does do that in the installation process. But once you start going through and further on, you'll see later on the signal is actually full strength, as well as when it's set up in its position. There was a message at the top which does tell you to fix a few permissions and everything, and once that's done, then it does allow you to do all the other setup things that are required in the app. So just make sure you follow all those and fix any permissions that are required. At the bottom there's 4 little menu items. So you've got the home, which will then show you the screenshot of the camera. You've also got some cloud storage options and about yourself and all your setup account and everything like that, and messages that come through, so any message alerts will come through. And then in the top right, once you go into the camera, it will walk you through that interface and what it looks like. And then you will actually see a live view of the camera. So I put my hand in front of the camera, I move the camera, and you can see, so that's a live view. It's quite responsive. And then below the actual visuals are other little menus. So you can see there's live, history, and cloud. And then you can go into the settings, which I've done now. So here, the motion detection, which I spoke about earlier. So you got to get these settings right in order not to drain the battery too much. You want to make sure you have the correct recording seconds of how long you want a video to be and all that kind of stuff. Over here, you can actually set the activation zone for people walking past. So that's really cool. You can have more than one zone. So you can have certain areas. So if someone walks across or over a certain part, it will trigger. There's also alert plans. There's also the warning light and strobe light that comes on, or the warning message. So that's the message you heard earlier on in the video where it talks to you. And then the light will come on as well. So you can do that. You can also set certain times that the activation can take place. So I set the video to 30 seconds. And then there's a whole bunch of other things like the sensitivity of the activation and all that. So there's a lot of options. Then moving into the image settings, we can see that we've got 60 Hertz. So there's no flickering, and also the full color night vision. So there's three options there that you can toggle between. You can use intelligent mode, which I was using. You can share the device as well if you want anyone to use that and see what you're seeing. So you can share that with someone who's also got an account with the app. There's time settings. So I put 24-hour clock. So that's the option I chose. Sound settings for the microphone and speaker. So you can have two-way conversations with the camera and whoever's on the other side looking at it. There's video encryption if you want to enable that. There's also AI intelligent analysis, which is quite cool, but you have to pay for that. So that will tell you how many were people and things like that. The battery management is really cool as well. It tells you how to keep the battery charged, and it will also tell you what percentage of the battery is used for triggers or motion detection or things like that. So that's also pretty cool. So you can see what's draining the battery if that does take place. The option for the SD card, as you can see earlier on when I put the SD card in, you can format that over here and everything's ready to go once it's formatted, and it will store locally. You can pair it with Alexa, which I've done here. And there was also the cloud option. If you want to pay a monthly fee, you have cloud storage, so that's not stored locally. It will be stored on the cloud. And then the other thing which was quite nice is there's also version control with regards to firmware, so everything stays up to date and works as it should be, and any updates coming from the app. And at the top you can see the notifications coming in already from the camera because it's picking up motion and movement and everything like that. The signal strength is quite strong, as you can see in the top left corner of the menus over there. You can see the kilobits per second. Then there's menus below which has got screenshots, hold to talk. It takes you back to the motion setting options. You can switch the lights on and off. So these, you can see they really are bright. So you can have that on. You can turn the siren on if you want. You can record if you want. And you can also view the recordings as well under the history tab that's at the top there. And if you've got cloud, then obviously under the cloud will be there. The warning message as well, that you can have that with a strobe light or just a white light coming on. So you can have flickering light, which I didn't put on because it is quite distracting. There's also the full color night vision, which we went through earlier. And then the album, which you need to obviously give permission to that to go through. But you can see the quality of the images and the camera is really good. So as I said in my review, I do like the camera. If you guys are wanting to purchase one, I've put the links in the description if you want to read up more about them. Visit the site and have a look and everything. But I really enjoyed this review. I do like the little camera. It's nice and compact. And I will see you guys again for my next review. Thanks. Cheers.